Yeah, what's up, everybody? This is Facts Not Included, the
And we're back
Oh
with another episode where Peter fucks up.
Well, what's up, guys? Facts Not Included, the podcast. This is the Rogue One episode, the episode you've been waiting for. At least we here at Facts Not Included have been waiting for.
Yes.
So get your seatbelts ready and get ready for this episode. We're going to be going on a really great ride, and yeah.
We're going to do the Tussle run.
Kessel.
Not
Tessel.
Well,
Wow.
sir.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. Oh my God! What's up, guys? It's Facts Not Included, the podcast. As we said before, I'm your host, Peter Cabranes, and we are joined by the third wheel, Antonio Connolly. What's going on, Antonio?
How you doing, everybody? How you doing, Peter?
I'm
How
great.
you doing, John?
Wait, what? The absent chair that is John Randazzo. He's been doing his own thing. He's got a busy life. That friend of ours, the great John Randazzo. He's missing again this episode. He's really, really hurt about it. We are hurt about it as well.
Yes.
He wanted to talk about Rogue One.
So badly, actually.
Yeah, we're going to try to do our best to do that. Also, keep your ears and eyes open for a John Randazzo Rogue One review that's going to hit our YouTube channel hopefully in a few. That will accompany this episode. So you got my opinion, Antonio's opinion, as well as John's opinion. So yeah, Antonio,
Yes,
what's
sir.
up?
How you? Fucking great, man.
Fucking great.
I've been
Why
wanting-
are you so great right now?
Because
That hurt my ears.
I've been wanting to talk about this movie ever since I saw it on Saturday? No, Friday.
Wow, so many millennia ago.
Oh man, no, because it's such a fucking good movie. It's such a good movie.
Was it the prequel we were searching for? Huh?
It's everything that it advertised itself to be, and even more than that. It's so fucking good.
Okay. Well, before you get all orgasmic on us, let's okay, so first off, we're obviously talking about Rogue One, a Star Wars story, as they put it to us, just Rogue One in the theaters.
Rouge One.
Which
as I like to type it out.
Moulin Rouge 1. Which would have been okay, so my issue. Okay, I love this movie, but I just have one issue since we're going to start at the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to get initial thoughts first, but I actually do want to talk about my issue, which is when the movie opened up. I mean, at first I was initially like weeks and weeks and months before the movie came out, I was like, this movie doesn't need an opening crawl. This movie doesn't need any spectacle that normal Star Wars movies has. Let's get right into it.
Yeah,
and then the movie actually just started, and I was like, kind of hurt. I was like, "Where's the crawl?"
Yeah,
I kind of wanted it.
I remember you showing me the guys at Collider. They made this little crawl thing. If anyone hasn't seen it, it's definitely on their Facebook page or something like that. Go check that out. But it was so good. They have the crawl from episode 4, right? And then it gets to the part where they talk about the rebels taking the plans, and it kind of like glitches.
Yeah.
And then you hear all the sound effects from the trailers, and you hear all the people like dying and blaster fire, and it was just so good.
And then you hear the alarm go off.
Yeah, that's our alarm.
That annoying alarm that I love. Yeah. And then it glitches, and then the Rogue One logo pops up. But that is not what we get in this movie.
No,
what we
you
get
don't.
is this like cheap Microsoft Word kind of like word art type of Rogue One lettering on the thing, which is like at least 5 minutes after the movie started.
Yeah.
Because we had the whole Jyn Erso story going on.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that is just my little critique of the title sequence. But that's whatever. What are your initial thoughts of this movie? Let's get into that. So this movie was riddled with reshoots in the beginning.
Yeah.
We got trailers that we clearly didn't get all those scenes from the movie. That could have been for two reasons. One, because just natural editing, you're bound to take stuff out.
Right.
Or could it be, we didn't actually like that. It didn't work in this movie. We had to reshoot, and that's what they reshot. There's some Vader that we didn't get in this movie that we saw in the trailer. Mm-hmm. And there's some other things that we saw that we didn't get. Anyway, so did that hurt or conflict your thoughts in this movie? Did you go into it going, ooh, this is going to be a problem?
No. Honestly, I was really waiting for the Saw Gerrera line that Forrest Whitaker says in one of the trailers.
What will you become?
Yeah, I was waiting for that one.
It's already a classic line that doesn't exist now.
Yeah, because it's just like so cool to hear him say that. But honestly, I even forgot about the reshoots. Like watching that movie, I like going into it. Yeah, I forgot about that they'd reshot some stuff, and I even remember us talking about it a while back about how it might fuck up the movie. But as time progressed, and as movie makers make movies, they do reshoots and they do edit stuff out. So when the Blu-ray drops, you're definitely going to see like some sort of deleted scenes and stuff. Yeah. So whether or not that takes away from the movie, I don't think so. I think it was so far it did what it was supposed to do with what we got. Like this is not like Suicide Squad where like they did reshoots and it's not the movie that everyone was expecting.
Right. It seems more or less that the movie Disney gave us or Lucasfilm gave us is the movie they wanted. Yeah. It wasn't. You haven't heard Gareth Edwards come out going, "No, they didn't give me the movie I directed," or anyone saying anything like that. No, and it's clear. Well, one, because Disney has a good way of hiding stuff like that, but I don't think it's because of that. I think it's clearly like this is the movie they wanted, and it is the movie we deserved. Like it's clearly a really good movie. Like if dare I say, epic movie. Yeah. It is fucking amazing. Like you keep saying, it's fucking fantastic. Fuck. It's great. It is everything I ever wanted for if we were ever gonna get a movie on how the plans were stolen. Yeah. I wouldn't have made this movie because I'm not that good of a director. But this is the movie we got, and this is the movie we actually needed and wanted to see. So it is fucking great.
Exactly.
It's funny. I remember when the movie was premiered last Saturday in Los Angeles, and all these the embargo didn't lift until Tuesday morning. So all you got to see was tweets by people. Yeah. And one of my favorite tweets is, of course, from the guy I pray at the altar of, was Kevin Smith. And Kevin Smith tweeted something out like, this movie's fucking great. It's Empire Strikes Back good. And a lot of people were like, whoa.
Yeah, pause.
What do you mean?
Pause, yeah.
And what he meant, he later explained in his review. Go check that out. It's a really great review with his boy, Mark Bernard. They did a great review, and they were talking about it's Empire great in the sense of like you got the feels like you got in Empire. It's back to that dark Star Wars, back to where Star Wars does good. Star Wars is good when it's dark. Star Wars is good when it's all that stuff.
Of course.
So he's one of his reviews are like that, and a lot of people, and you and I were looking at reviews, and you and I were laughing at stuff that was like, why is there? Why are people shitting on this movie? Like, oh, it's dark, it's gloomy, it's morally unmoral.
And you know what I tell those people? Fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck you.
It's meant to be dark. If people are gonna die.
Star Wars is about wars. It's in the name, right? Even like with the Clone Wars trilogy. The Clone Wars TV show. You see, like there are clips of Jedi dying.
Yeah.
Clone troopers dying. Like even in Rebels, like
Rebels is pretty dark, even for a Disney XD show.
Exactly. It's a dark franchise.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all about good and evil and light beating the dark side and all like the fancy kid friendly stuff that Star Wars is.
Right.
When you look at the nit and gritty of it, it's still fucking dark.
Yeah.
People, this is a war.
It's a war. It's Star Wars. I mean, we probably haven't gotten Star Wars in most of these movies, but we fucking got it in this movie. But like you were saying about the darkness and the character sides of it being a dark version of life. I mean, look at Saw Gerrera. I mean, when look at this character. So, I mean, we're gonna get into all the characters. Actually, well, let's do that. Let's start with our boy Saw Gerrera.
Forrest Whitaker did a fantastic job.
Yeah, he's not in the movie much, but if anybody knows this character of Saw Gerrera,
which is from the original Clone Wars TV show, he is the only character as of right now who's went from animated to screen time.
Yeah, first ever character to do that. So that's awesome. That gives me some hope. It gives me a new hope for the future because there's a lot of characters I like in Rebels and that I liked in Clone Wars that I would hope to see in future movies.
Before we get into that, I want to just bank off of that. A lot of people want an Ahsoka Tano movie.
Yeah.
And I personally, I like her as a character. I like what they've done with her so far. I just don't think I don't want her to have her own solo.
Why is that?
because then you take away all the stuff that they could do in Rebels for her, and then
Well, if you watch Rebels now, she's kind of gone. But
Oh, yeah.
well, so I don't want to get into that because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who haven't watched Rebels. No, I think if you read the book, which I haven't yet, but
she has her own solo book.
She has her own solo book.
Okay.
From that, well, that's where we get the.
Before towards the end of Clone Wars and before Rebels, or
It's everything. Yeah, it's
Okay.
everything. I think it's everything leading up to Rebels.
Okay, cool.
And so, like, if you read that book, from what I understand, you fall in love with this character even more. I know people that they didn't like her in Clone Wars. They didn't like her in Clone Wars. They thought she was too childlike, too immature, too whatever. And then, but then you understand what she's gone through, and then when you see her in Rebels, and you're just like, oh, never mind. They knew what they were doing with this character.
Yeah.
They were just developing her. It took time to develop this character.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know if I want to see her solo movie either,
I don't.
but I wouldn't be opposed. And it would be interesting to see where her story leads, if she's still alive somehow in the universe at all. So,
See, that's another thing, because it's probably blasphemy to say this, but I was a huge Star Wars Force Unleashed
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed fan. So when they first dropped that and Starkiller, with them there, I just love that dynamic of Darth Vader having a secret apprentice,
Oh yeah.
And so I love Starkiller as a character. So when I first saw her come out, and I was like, fuck, they literally just took Starkiller and just not make him who he is, but like a spunky girl character. And watching some of the episodes, I was like, all right, I like her. She's not bad. I saw the movie too, which is not canon anymore apparently, but
the Clone Wars movie.
Yeah, the animated
Yeah, that's
movie.
not canon.
But I saw that movie and I was like, all right, she's cool. Like I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the fun, and then people. That's when people didn't like her. They were like, "Oh, that's not a good character." And then the first couple episodes, they were like, "Yeah, whatever." As the Clone Wars developed, you started to understand her more. She does, spoilers. She does walk away from the Order.
Yeah,
because
she
they
becomes
try
an
to
exile,
arrest her.
which also comes from KOTOR.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that.
So they try to arrest her and whatnot, and then she walks away from the Order, and then she comes back as this white.
Gray Jedi, which
More
is
or
not
less
canon, but
more or less. I
she's
mean,
like,
they didn't confirm she was a Gray Jedi.
I know, but
the idea of the kyber crystals, which does play a huge role in this movie, Rogue One. The idea of how kyber crystals get their colors comes from the Ahsoka book.
really,
So yeah, they explain it all in there. And so let's get into this for those that don't know.
yeah, because in old canon, I always just thought the kyber crystals were just individually different colored crystals that Jedi just picked, right? And there was Sith ones for red.
Right.
There's just all different types of colors.
Well, that's not how it works.
Not anymore,
No.
apparently.
So let's get a run through that. So the kyber crystal, more or less, as you saw, if any of you seen the Clone Wars TV show, the Younglings episodes, where they go get their crystals in Islam and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's several planets that have kyber crystals in their caves and whatnot, and Islam is one of them. And in the way kyber crystals work, it's kind of leaning towards the good. The way the crystal works, because it's really weird how it works, is that a Jedi, or one to be a Jedi, goes to the crystal, and it calls to it. The crystal calls to you, more or less. And what happens is when you get your crystal, it changes a color, and whether it's going to change green or blue for you.
Do they ever explain why it turns blue or green?
I don't. Again, like I said, I haven't read the book.
Okay.
So from what I understand, there isn't a reason. I don't think. There's also like yellow and white.
Yes.
But that, from what it seems like, has nothing to do with how you are.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the Mace Windu purple one, which is just because Sam Jackson gets what he wants.
Of course. You cannot deny that, man.
And then the reason Siths are red is really amazing. This is the great stuff. You're gonna listen to this. Basically, what they do is they bleed it red. Sith steal the kyber crystals. The only way a Sith could get a crystal is if he steals it.
Okay.
Because it doesn't call out to him. So he steals it, and he bleeds it from blue to red or green to red. So more or less, Vader's lightsaber, or anyone else who has had a red lightsaber, stole that saber crystal, kyber crystal, and bled it red.
But, okay.
And you could bleed it back to your other color, to a Jedi's color, which is why hers is white. in the Rebels.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that she turned it red and then turned it back to...
Well, they said that she got hers from somewhere.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm not too sure.
But I mean, she kept her 2 lightsabers at the end of the Clone Wars show, right?
No, I don't know.
Whatever.
I have no idea. I can't remember. But they said that's how they said she bled hers back to white.
Okay, so what about that banks off the question of what about Fallen Jedi though? Like, because Anakin, Count Dooku, they all were Jedi.
Yeah, they probably took their sabers. Well, Anakin clearly didn't take that saber.
Yeah, because Obi-Wan stole it.
But maybe Dooku took his crystal and made it red. You know, like I mean, it seems like there's some holes here, but that is the new canon. That is how that is how it works now.
Whatever.
I do like it though. I do like the idea that the Siths have to steal theirs in order to get theirs red. But anyway, kyber crystals play a huge role in Rogue One.
Yes, definitely.
Huge role. Actually, that is exactly what powers the
Death Star.
The Death Star.
Which we did not know about. I thought it was just, nuclear.
You didn't
reactor.
know that?
No. Well, now watching the movie, I do know that. But back in the original trilogy, I just thought it was just a nuclear reactor.
Ah, yes. Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure, but then I more or less you put it together. And you're like, well, what else makes the lasers? But anyway, let's get into this movie actually. So the movie opens up. And we see a young baby, well, not baby, young, about 6-7-year-old Jyn Erso.
Yes.
So it helps if you read the book Catalyst.
Yes, you told me about this.
Yeah, I also haven't read the book either. But from what I get from people who have read the book, it is a must-read, guys. Definitely take a read of Rogue One's Catalyst. It's a prequel novel to Rogue One. It basically tells you everything from the Clone Wars to now, Jyn's life, her and her father. The battle, the struggle to find him, and stuff like that, and the power struggle with Tarkin and Krennic, and you clearly see that in this movie. You clearly see that Krennic is a fucking little bitch, and Tarkin got him by the balls, and there's that line where Tarkin goes to him and goes, oh, this is mine now, and like I love what you did, but this is mine now, and so cool. What are your thoughts? Let's get into the actor portrayals. Thoughts on Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso from when she was a child to the very end of the movie at her epic death, and lovely death with her soon-to-be boyfriend, but they die. So Diego Luna as Cassian Andor. So what are your thoughts on first Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso?
Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso she was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, I've always loved characters who, like, in the beginning are that loner, like, fuck you, I don't want to join your cause.
Classic Star Wars too. Classic Star Wars.
And I've always fell in love with those characters. Yeah. Like the Han Solos and shit like that, because they were like, fuck you, I can live my life in this and I can handle what I gotta do. I don't care about your cause. You can go suck it. You can go suck it. And I loved it. I loved her character, and Felicity Jones plays her fucking phenomenally. Where we got Cassian Andor, which is another great portrayal for a character, because he's that guy that he understands where Jyn is coming from.
Right.
But he decided it was like, I don't want to wallow in my own self-worthlessness. I don't want to deal with this shit. So I picked up a blaster when I was like 7 or something like that.
Yeah, he's young. Yeah.
And I started doing something about it. And, like, that's the greatest, I think, character dynamic, because you have a character that just doesn't care, but you have a character that also doesn't care, but he has to do something about it, because at the end of the day, he cares about the whole of it.
Yeah, he's like, I've been fighting since I was little, and let's go. Let's just fucking get this done. The interesting part is, as we saw in the beginning of the movie, my guy Ben Mendelsohn comes to kill Mads, or at least take him back, and he's like, "Well, I can't. I haven't been doing anything. My wife died. My kid died." And then you clearly see the wife walk past, and then he's like, "Oh shit, she is alive."
Yeah, that was a great line.
And then he just shoots and kills the wife. The interesting thing is that just after that, of course, Felicity Jones then goes in the bunker, and then for somehow Forrest Whitaker raises her for the rest of her young life.
Yeah.
In the event that he did not find her and raise her, she wouldn't have. Because you remember, he's kind of like the Bernie Sanders.
Oh my God!
He's the rebel. He's an extremist, right? He's the
plug in Bernie Sanders every fucking time.
And actually, he's not Bernie Sanders. Bernie's peaceful. Saw Gerrera is more like the Che.
There you
or
go.
the Fidel Castro, actually.
Oh well.
Of this movie, because he's an extremist, and he he doesn't. And if you know Saw, if you remember Saw from the Clone Wars, Saw is the parallel to Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
They were best friends at one point. Like, they were really good friends. And he also has a breathing apparatus. He also has a limp. He also has problems walking and breathing and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he does have that wheeze and that and that where that line comes, what will you become? That you have that whole Anakin parallel, which is interesting because he raises Jyn Erso, and then you got this. Does she become who she is if he didn't take care of her? Clearly not.
No.
She probably wouldn't have that rebel gene or that rebel fight.
Well,
in her.
I think. Seeing your mother die in front of
that
your
does
eyes,
change you. That
and
does
then
change
seeing
you.
your dad being basically kidnapped,
Captured and kidnapped.
Yeah. That does trigger something.
Sure.
It's that typical trope of parents dying at a young age.
Yeah, the Batman trope.
The Batman trope. It does like she would still have that rebellious thing, right? But if she didn't go with Saw, I believe that she wouldn't have the training and the know-how how to handle herself to be that like smuggler-esque.
Yeah, I don't think she would have been as like. Well, she doesn't say it in the movie because they also cut it out from the trailers. I rebel. Like,
thank fucking God, because that was the stupidest fucking line.
Wait, I can't remember. Did they do they did the New Hope line, right? They did it twice, I think. They go. The
rebellions are built on hope.
On hope.
I was like, all right, that's cool. All right, good.
My favorite. I know we're jumping here, but my favorite scene. Because it's not my favorite scene, but one of my I like it because it's kind of funny. Well, the scene where she's doing all that, right? And everyone's behind her, and all these like random like rebels and stuff, and the guy's like, "Who are you?" and stuff like that, and then like, "What do you even have to offer?" And they're all singing like mumbling in the background. And it just makes me laugh because it's like at any rally, you have people that are like that. They're on your side, but then they're also telling you no.
Oh my God, it's fucking beautiful.
So that made me laugh. They're like, no, we mean well, but really, what are you trying to do here? But she did great. I think she was amazing in the movie. Diego Luna was fantastic.
Yes.
Even though like he's not. There's one problem about this movie. That also kind of bugs me is that, but it's actually no, it doesn't. Fuck it, it doesn't even bug me because.
Well, what is it?
Well, here's the thing. Like most movies, John would probably agree in most movies, but John's not here, so he can't plead his cause. Character development's huge, right?
Yes.
But this movie doesn't necessarily need to develop these characters because we all know they're fucking biting the bullet at the end.
True.
Right. So it's going to be easier for you to like not have to build on a character.
Yeah.
As much as you would probably do in another movie. So. That true. In the event if these people live later, fine, I would have been annoyed. But this movie's fun. It's whatever about it. But I wish they built more on Diego Luna's character and a lot more on which we'll get to my guy Riz Ahmed, the pilot as they kept calling him.
Oh yeah, the pilot.
Which his real name was Bodhi Rook. But they kept calling him the pilot. So like I wish they built more of these people. Then again, it doesn't matter because they all died.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's hard to develop a huge cast of characters because you see what and especially in a 2-hour time frame.
Well, yeah, look at Suicide Squad. Look at movies like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like Magnificent Seven and stuff like that. It's very hard to develop characters like that, right?
Sure.
The original trilogy had time to build up Luke, Leia, and Han, and those are only 3.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have like 5 main characters.
More or less. Yeah, you got.
So it's very difficult to do that.
So you got Felicity Jones, you got Diego Luna, Donnie Yen, Wing Jing, Riz Ahmed, and like those are the.
And I mean,
Alan Tudyk as K2SO.
Yeah,
so you got 6 main characters, more or less.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hard. Yeah, that is hard.
It's hard. So, and also if you're spending so much time developing Jin and her love for her father and her family,
right,
it's also very difficult to do that.
Right, which is I think why they made that book, which is because then it would have been it's a lot easier to get away with doing that in the book than doing it in the movie, because then you're wasting another hour or so, writing about or showing us about their relationship.
And also I feel like if they did do that, people would be very upset, and they're like, well, this is supposed to be a war movie. Where's the war movie instead of that? You know, so.
So let's get to my guy, since we're talking about him a bit. My guy, Alan Tudyk from Firefly, right?
Yes, buddy.
Great show.
Oh man,
please
Fox.
season 2. But you know,
well, they can't because of Serenity.
Oh yeah,
so.
Yeah, it's true. I forgot. So who knew that probably leaving this movie, your favorite character was going to be a robot?
Whoa!
What?
Well,
at least
for me, it's Donnie.
Well, I know. But more or less, for like most people.
Oh, yeah.
Going into this movie, they're like, "There's no way this robot's gonna make us money."
Yeah. They were banking, because I think in my mind, other people were like, "Oh, they put a robot in this movie. He's no C-3PO. Get out of here." Blah blah blah.
And he's an Imperial droid.
Imperial droid. What?
You know, so, and it's funny because I was hearing a lot of stories, and we always reference Collider. They mentioned how there's a toy store not too far from them. They went in there, and all these Rogue One toys were there, and everything was going up the shelves that had Felicity Jones on it, Diego Luna's character, Donnie Yen's character, and whatnot. And they kept a lot of K2SOs, like they weren't selling. This was before the movie came out.
Oh yeah.
After the movie came out, I could reassure you right now that nothing is on the shelf that has his name on it.
Of course.
Everything is sold out.
Of course.
This character is, oh my God, first off, what a smartass, right? Like, he just says whatever he's thinking, literally. He just comes right out. He computes it, boom, right out. And he's kind of like a really douchey, snarky C-3PO.
He would be C-3PO if he had R2-D2's attitude.
Oh yeah. You know what? Yeah, it's probably I wonder if that's how they did it too. Like, I wonder if they took the amalgamation of the both of them and they were like, let's make a droid that talks. That it's like this, because he's fucking great. And K2SO's like, okay, let's get to it, because oh man, like throughout the whole movie, you're like, oh, this guy's great. You know, well, he's not gonna die, and then he's the first one to go.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And he kind of like sacrifices himself.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful shit.
So good.
Let's go about that.
Yeah. I was in the theater, right, and I was watching with a bunch of friends, and we basically took up like the whole row of people, because my friend brought his coworkers and other people brought other people, so it was pretty cool. One of my friend's coworkers was like, "Oh wow, they killed the robot!"
Yeah.
But you know that's he's easy to bring back. You know, they just build him back up, and I'm sitting here like, no,
not the way they destroyed him. Not the way they killed him. No. They shot bullets to that motherfucker.
Exactly.
or lasers or whatever. He was gone. And the thing was like, he was like, no, go. Like, I got this. And I was just like, no, don't leave us now. Like, oh man, what a way to go for that guy.
And it was like a full circle thing too. He started hating, Jin and him started hating each other, and then towards the end it was like,
oh, she gave him the gun. Yeah. She said, well, you wanted this, right?
Yeah.
You wanted, oh, man. Oh, the feels. but okay. We're not going to get to your guy yet. I'm gonna savor that for you for a second.
Course.
But we're going to get to my guy, Riz Ahmed, Bodhi Rook, who, Riz Ahmed, I mean, he's not in, like, a lot of big movies at all. He's a young actor, whatnot. But he was good in this movie. He wasn't great, of course, but he was.
I think he did.
He served a purpose.
Yeah, he did. He did his job with like Bodhi's.
I can't remember how he dies though. That's the thing.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, he was in the explosion. He was in the ship with all those people.
The fucking death trooper threw it
That's
in
right.
while he was sending up the plans, and he looked at the grenade and he was like,
"Oh yeah."
R.I.P.
They didn't even. They didn't even show it. Like, I thought they would have showed the explosion with his face there, but they didn't.
No, they cut away and then.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. To me, at first, I felt like his thing was like so insignificant. His purpose, and then I realized, he served a purpose. He moved up and whatnot. So yeah.
Well, yeah. It was. I like Bodhi's character because like he was just the pilot. He was the he did what he had to do. He just basically just progressed the story in a way that wasn't forced, but like
forced. No, I laughed. You said forced.
And it wasn't forced, and it was just like, okay, he's there to lead them from point A to point B, but he's also there to help them out. Right. So, like, throughout watching it, I was like, okay, that's Bodhi. Okay, that's Bodhi. And then he said that cheesy ass, Rogue One. And I was like, all right, well, fuck it.
Actually, I said it before he said it while I was in the theater. I was like, oh, this is Rogue One. And I said, fuck, so, it's really interesting how, I felt like he was insignificant. It's whatever. So, but yeah, let's go. Here's a guy that I wish I knew a little bit more about, though. My guy Wang Jing. Well, his name is Baze Malbus.
Oh my god,
the guy with the giant fucking
Baze is a fucking
ion torpedo
goon.
Fucking shooting gun.
Oh my god!
I don't know where he got that machine. I don't know how he made that. Where he got that.
I don't know.
What military would give him
Mandalore?
Yeah, probably.
But
he's a cool dude. He's kind of like me. Like, he's kind of like the real life me. I'm kind of like, I don't believe in that bullshit. And then at the end, I'm just like, the Force is with me. I'm just like, no, I guess I have to believe it now. Baze Malbus was pretty. Like, I wish I seen more of him. He's a guy.
Such a goon.
I wish I saw a little bit more of him. Did you like him? Did you like
Yes,
him?
yeah. Because so he's such a soldier character, and he just gives zero fucks.
Yeah.
And I love his dynamic duo with him and Donnie Yen was just so great on screen to watch.
Might as well go right into Donnie Yen, my friend.
Well, not yet.
You gonna savor that?
Yeah.
No, okay.
And like it was just he was cool. Like he was like one of those like people you hoped was in like more movies,
right?
Because the rebellion needs people like that.
I mean, I hope we get to see him or people like him or characters like him in Clone War. I mean, in Rebels.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to Rebels really soon. But anyway, yeah. A character like him will be interesting to maybe he will. There's like a side story and they meet him or something.
Yeah.
On in the Rebels show. But of course. Probably the guy that stole the rag team, storyline or whatever for some people, is the great actor Chinese actor. I'm a racist. Sorry, as we discussed in previous episodes, right? Apparently, I'm a racist. My guy or your guy?
My guy,
not my guy. Donnie Yen, or I can't even fucking pronounce his name. Churut Imwe. I think is his name in the movie. They don't even go to it. I don't think they even say it once.
No, they say it once, and then it's just I'm the blind guy. So
yeah, like, all right. The blind. My favorite scene with him is obviously the ending, but no, my comedical comedy scenes comedic scenes is when he goes. But I'm blind. They put the bags the bag on his head.
I am blind.
But I'm blind.
I cannot see.
What is with this? I'm with the Force, and the Force is with me.
Oh,
what
Jesus.
A great line that I'm never gonna stop saying. It is almost,
so
it's almost as good as impressive, most impressive. When Vader says that to Luke in Return of the Jedi, or no, Empire. I might be wrong. It is Empire, right? Oh, I don't know. I feel stupid now.
Well,
calls himself a Star Wars fan. Doesn't remember what line that movie is from. But I am with the Force, and the Force is with me. Could have been said throughout the whole movie. I would not have been pissed.
No.
I love that line. I love this character. And now he's dead.
Yeah. He died
the best way to die.
Yeah, he did.
Besides Jin and Cassian, that is a pretty epic death. Because they don't show it. They tell you like put two and two together. That blast fucking went to them. But his death, you felt that.
He had so many great scenes, like the bag scene where they kidnapping, the scene where he shoots a fucking TIE fighter out of the sky. Yeah. It was great. That part where he was like, I know I'm probably not making out of it here, so my belief in the Force will set me free.
Yes.
And then and he saved basically the day, to be honest.
And here's the epic part about that is that these Death Troopers that we're introduced to, first time ever in the Star Wars world we're ever introduced to these Death Troopers, because Stormtroopers are notoriously bad at shooting. Like, they notoriously suck. Yeah. Like, they've never been trained properly. So these Death Troopers are apparently a squad that has been trained and has been trained to shoot a blast and never miss, like, more or less. They seem to, like, never miss. But yet when he does his little rant, his little I'm with the Force and the Force is with me, when he does that, they miss. They wind up missing him, and he's able to pull that lever. Somehow he doesn't press any other buttons. He's hitting shit.
He's just looking.
He's so lucky there was no explosion button on there, no red button. He manages to pull the lever. I'm curious if he knew it was a lever.
No, they said switch.
Well, switch means, like, click, like, to me. Like,
well, I mean, he's blind.
I would have been looking for something else if I was him.
Just push any button.
I would have been like, ooh, oh, man, there goes the podcast. No, I almost touched something. But fuck, man. I mean, he didn't have to die.
Yeah, you're
no,
right.
Everyone had to die.
They had to.
I'm interested. Let's go on about that, because did everyone have to die, in your opinion? Did everyone for there to be well, where were they during the original movies?
Yeah. That's pretty much. They had to tie up the loose ends. Yeah. Like, if Cassian or Jin got it out of there alive, you would have to think in the original trilogy, like, why everyone else was so upset when Luke came in, and we'll talk about that later. And you're just gonna sit there, like, when Mon Mothma comes out and she's like, hey, thanks to these guys, we have these plans. It's more,
there's that feeling like a lot was lost just to get this.
Yeah, exactly.
And we might not even be successful at destroying this thing, but some few people, 6 people lost their lives.
More than that, but
many. As we saw in that last hour, many more people died as well. And we'll get to that scene later.
Yeah, exactly. So they did to make like the grit and the expressions of why everyone in the rebellion was just such a Debbie Downer. Right. They had to go.
Yeah. So let's get into my guy, Mads Mikkelsen, who is, in my words, the greatest version of Hannibal in the world. Sorry, Anthony Hopkins. But my guy, Mads Mikkelsen, knows how to play Hannibal really well in the TV, even though that show's canceled. It's funny because I felt like I was watching Mads Mikkelsen and I wasn't watching Galen or so, more or less sometimes. But, that's whatever. He has that accent. He's Swedish or Danish. So I might be completely wrong. He might be from somewhere else. But no, he does have that accent, so it is harder for him to sometimes not be himself. Which is weird. I thought they would have gave him a different voice. He did use his real words. So let's get into Galen. So throughout the whole movie, we're led to believe, at least she's led to believe, that her dad betrayed her. Yeah. Her dad left her and wanted nothing to do with her. Until we get that holocron. Oh, man. What a powerful... Her best performance is in that scene. Yeah. Her vision in her eyes, her look to her father telling her, no, listen, I did not do that. I put something in this machine for it to go away. At any moment, someone can just attack it and it can go. And then her best performance, Felicity Jones, is in that scene. But you feel for her and her father there. You also feel for him. He does a great performance in that rainy planet when they're on that ledge. Yeah. Where was it Diego Luna was going to try to shoot him down? Yeah. And that was his whole purpose of going there. But Mads Mikkelsen does a really good job of playing this character that is kind of an Oppenheimer. Our world, Oppenheimer created the atomic bomb. Sure. So he's kind of our Oppenheimer, their Oppenheimer, and he's kind of a at the same time, he regrets doing what he did. Yeah. But he knew that he had no choice. In order to keep his family alive and keep himself alive, he had to do these things. Yeah, of course. It was a dark world at this time. You have to remember, this is after the Clone Wars, or during the Clone Wars. You don't know what's happening. Actually, when this caught, Yeah, when they captured him, this was after Revenge of the Sith, so Vader's around. Yeah. So this is a dark time, for the people in this galaxy, Yeah. So I would do anything myself to survive. If I was a scientist, I will create you this fucking weapon as long as I get to stay alive, and stuff like that. So I think he did a great portrayal of a character like that.
True.
I don't know if anyone else could have done it, but I think Mads was great. And then you feel for him when he dies. I think you would have felt for him more, though, if you read Catalyst, from what I've been hearing as well from people. I did feel for him when he did die.
No, I did too.
I was like, all these years she's been wanting to see Dad, and when she finally gets to see him, he goes bye-bye.
It's a typical story of that type of archetype of character. Mm-hmm. It's how it's supposed to be. I wasn't expecting Mads to come out alive. I knew he was gonna go.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was gonna go like that. I thought he was gonna get shot by Krennic.
I thought maybe Vader would come destroy him, or Tarkin would get someone on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did a great job. And so, I don't know, Mads Mikkelsen, I love you, and I love that your brother is Thrawn. Yeah. His brother is Thrawn in the Rebels series, so that's pretty cool. So let's get to this really weird thing that a lot of people keep talking about on the internet. And it's kind of like off-putting for some people. At first it was when I first saw it, and then I was like, no, it's so believable because Peter Cushing looks exactly like that, and that's how he talks. How Tarkin looks in this movie is first of all, listen guys, it's 2016. The fact that we get to see a dead actor alive again in a movie is amazing. It is unbelievable that we could get technology like this.
Exactly.
What does that mean for future movies? I don't know. We're not going to talk about that right now. That's probably for another show. The fact that you can get a living actor today and play him, right, to do the voice, and more or less, because that's what they did. They had a guy kind of stand there, and they overlaid CG shit on him, and then have him look exactly like Tarkin did in the moments of A New Hope. Like, how amazing. Again, when we first saw it, I saw it with my girlfriend, and we noticed that, holy shit, she even said it. She was like, that's a lot of CGI. Yeah. But later on throughout the movie, you do realize that they did a better tweaking at it. Why didn't they tweak it better in the beginning? I have no idea.
It's probably the best rendition they got at the beginning.
What do you think? It just blew my fucking mind that I saw this.
Yeah, I was expecting Tarkin to show up.
Oh, he has to be in the story. Like, he has to. You do not make a movie about the Death Star plans and he's not in it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was expecting him to show up. I just didn't know he was gonna, they're gonna show his face. Like,
yes.
When he appeared on screen for the first time, Myro and everyone else was like, holy shit.
I had a pretty shitty audience. Nobody in the room for anything. They were like, ooh, oh, no, nothing. I was the only one doing it. Literally no one else did it in my room.
So it was me, my friend, and then my other friend who they constantly go back about Star Wars conspiracies all the time. So, I'm sitting right here, and then I see Tarkin. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking holy shit.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
That's the homie.
Yeah, who fucking knew we were ever going to see? I thought they were going to do what they did in Revenge of the Sith, which was just have him look at the window, and just talk the whole movie from there.
Yeah.
But then I realized, no, we kind of need to see Tarkin because we need to hear him. We need to know what he's saying because he's going to be important to the story. But I didn't. Yeah, like you said, I didn't know how pivotal he was going to be, and how important and how big of a dick he's going to be to fucking this guy named. Fucking Orson Krennic, how big of an asshole he's going to be to him and just steal his fucking thing from him. It is interesting about the Death Star. It took them 19 years to build the Death Star, the first one, and then only 3 years to build the second. Well, they didn't finish the second, but it's interesting because if you remember in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, they do show the plans and Darth Tyrannus, or as we call him, Count Dooku. He has the plans with the people from that planet that I can't remember.
Oh yeah, no.
Those flying things. They were the ones that built the Death Star, more or less. And it's interesting. I wonder if you read Catalyst, if it does explain to you their role in it and why it took so long. because 19 years is a long time to build this. Excuse me, to build this machine.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to Tarkin, what an epic view! And then they did it with Leia later too.
Oh yeah,
and that one worked well too. I think it looked great.
I think so too.
Tarkin, my God, what a ruthless little fucker.
You know what's funny is that a friend of mine comes up to me while in the movie where he comes in, he whispers, "I don't know who's more menacing, Krennic or Tarkin." And I said, "Whoa, pause."
Wow,
pause. I was like, pause. Tarkin.
Krennic in this film, this new guy, Orson Krennic, played by Ben Mendelsohn. You clearly have an understanding that he at one point was probably going to be the successor, or at least take over, Tarkin or whatever. You clearly see that he has this upper hand, but something happened, and what happened? Well, people stole some plans,
yep.
and people started getting into, because throughout the whole movie, someone goes up to to Ben Mendelsohn's character and goes, "We just got word that this happened. Oh, this happened. Oh, this happened." And throughout the whole movie, he's getting fucked because all these people are doing this to him, and you start seeing his role is starting to diminish and diminish. And what the interesting, amazing thing that I starting to understand is that remember that scene in A New Hope where Vader then chokes one of his guys?
Yeah.
You notice that there's empty chairs there?
Yeah.
They went that deep into this. Think about it. Like, those people that aren't there are clearly Orson Krennic and his guys. Like, how fucking mind-fucking is that? Like, we could have seen Krennic in the original movie, if he didn't die in Rogue One. Like, like, obviously George wasn't thinking about that back then. But
how do you know that though?
That's true. Like, we don't know if he knew. Like, maybe he wanted to do this all years later. So like, he had empty chairs. He could have easily had people in those seats, but he didn't. Oh, it's a mind fuck. It's kind of really a mind fuck.
It finally, like, this movie, we could go right into it. It's like it covers up all the plot holes that we've been saying for fucking years.
Like, why is it that easy to blow up this thing? Did an 8th grader fucking make it?
Yeah.
Like, well, clearly, yeah. Like, he made it for his daughter to find out. Like, there's a reason he did this.
It's oh my Jesus.
That's one thing. I mean, how many people went to attack? What did Vader do at the end? Why does the movie automatically start with a ship getting attacked?
Exactly. And that's why Vader knew it wasn't a fucking space expedition to Alderaan. He knew that.
Yeah.
He was there.
He saw it all. And we'll get to that scene later because that is an epic scene. So okay, okay, calm your horses there, sir. Okay, I have a really interesting question though, and I guess the answer is clearly fucking yes. Does it serve as a proper prequel to A New Hope?
Yes.
Like, it clearly does,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so like, the thing is, because the word prequel in the world of Star Wars is very hard to get around.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that word without getting slapped on the wrist or attacked.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate the prequels, the original 3. I mean, the new 3. And I've grown to like them more. I know it's hard to say. But as someone who reads the canon and someone who watches the TV shows and stuff and understands, like, what all that meant, the movies serve their purpose. They serve their purpose, and to better understand the original trilogy as well. So I've grown to like Phantom Menace like a tad more, like not even like 30%, like it's like 5% more, whatever. And Attack of the Clones, that's gonna still be a hard one for me to like more because I hate that movie with all my glory. And Revenge of the Sith, I love even more.
Oh yeah,
for things. And then, because once you finish Clone Wars, it goes right into that, and it makes sense, And then Rebels helps you understand Revenge of the Sith. Lords of the Sith, the book, helps you understand Vader and all that stuff. So, a person who reads all the canon,
and the Vader comic book,
and the Star Wars
Anakin
comic,
and Obi-Wan comic books.
That's a great one. That's a great one. That has to do between Phantom and Attack of the Clones, I think. So yeah, and how he becomes a young knight. So you feel that the movie serves its purpose as a rightful prequel?
Yes.
Great, because I do too. So back to canon. Canon serves a huge purpose in this movie, or like the lore of Star Wars serves a huge purpose. And my favorite Easter egg in this movie, I don't know if it's a big one for you, but this Easter egg is huge for me.
Which one?
Seeing the ghost ship from Rebels in this movie. I think I might have wet my pants. I might have wet my pants. I literally pointed to the screen and went, "Oh my God, it's Ghost!" Like I literally said that out loud. I get, "Oh my God, it's Ghost!" You know, like I freaked out.
For me personally, because
I think I know what you're gonna say.
I am a huge KOTOR fan. Yeah. Huge KOTOR fan. And in Rebels, they brought back the Hammerhead ships.
Yes, they did.
And
bring out the Hammerheads.
And when he said, "Oh my God," when that line got hit, I was like, "What?"
Or whatever he said like that. Yeah.
Bring out the Hammerheads. I was like, "Whoa! Oh shit!"
I literally thought they were bringing out Hammerhead sharks. No, I'm just kidding. This is Sharknado.
All over again.
Sharknado: The Force Awakens.
But yeah, and then they used the Hammerhead ships like that, and I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, like what? Like it was a tugboat.
I was like, bruh.
I died. I was like, wait, does it work that well? And apparently so. I thought they fucked up when he hits the Star Destroyer. I was like, what? Died. And then they're like, no, brace for impact. And then it just collides into another one. And it reminds me of this if you read the book Lost Stars. It reminds me of the scene of Jakku when the spoiler alert, but it's on the cover. With that starship Star Destroyer you see in Force Awakens, it's from the Lost Stars, and it reminded me just like that. It just destroyed that force field right there. That was epic. First of all, I wonder if that guy is related to our guy Admiral Akbar. Anyway, because he sounds just like him. You know,
calamari.
First of all, that I would be terrified if I was looking down at a space battle in glass casing like that. I don't think I would want a bigger chair than the one he was sitting on. I mean, I would be terrified as shit. And then knowing that someone might be there. That would have fucking great. The fan service in this movie is A plus fan service in this movie, and they knew better. There's a. Do you remember the Walrus Man from the original movies? It kind of looks like he has testicles on his face. But he doesn't.
Yeah.
And he's with the guy with the messed up nose and shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're in this movie.
I know.
They're in this movie.
He's like, when I saw them, I was like, my friend doesn't like you. I don't like you either. I was like, why are you here?
And then I'm like, I don't know how they make it out and wind up in the cantina. I have no idea, but I don't care. Like that's one of those like plot holes I don't care about. Like whatever. They also make here's the one I didn't like, and I'm sorry for the fucking lovers of this. R2-D2 and fucking C-3PO just showing up and going, ooh, what are they doing? Like, no, you didn't have to be. They could have been on the ship. They could have just left him on the ship. Like, they didn't have to be down there.
No, because remember, Bill Organa was saying, I trust her, so they were going to send everybody anyway. I
know, but like, I didn't like. I would like to see them somewhere else. I didn't want to see them just there because it confused me, and it felt like thrown in, like thrown in. But then again, anytime they have to be in every movie now, apparently, so it's like whatever. And they're also in Rebels. They were in like the second episode of Rebels of the first. Shit. So like they were on a train. They went on like it wasn't a train. It was like a cargo ship, and they were just there with Ezra sitting there or whatever.
They're the mascots, so might as well.
That's true. So the fan service of this movie is pretty epic. There's also like other moments, like that bearded white man, like he's in the old movie and all that stuff. Like of course, Mon Mothma and whatnot. Bail Organa, first off.
Yeah, oh man, R.I.P. When he said, "I'm going back to Alderaan," I was like, "Oh, this is the last time we'll gonna see you, motherfucker."
When he said that, I was like, no. So it is confirmed.
Peace.
Oh, man. Why couldn't it be Onderon, the other planet? Oh, my God.
Is that an actual
planet?
Yeah,
it's an Onderon is a or something like that. There's two planets there. Well, like there's Tatooine, there's Dantooine.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they constantly say Dantooine, I think, in New Hope. It's two different planets. So there's Alderaan and Onderon.
Okay.
And Onderon, or something like that, is someone's fucking planet. They keep mentioning it in one of the books, too. I can't remember. But as what I'm trying to get to is, and we kind of spoke about it already, this changes how we see New Hope, though.
Oh, my
This totally
God.
changes how we see this movie.
like I was saying earlier.
Wait, hold on. They bit Red 5. Like, they brought back those guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the gold leader and everything.
Gold leader and blue leader. Like, what? Like, come on.
Rest in peace, the blue leader.
You know what's great is, like, I don't know if I clearly doubt it's the same actors, obviously, but they gave him mustaches, which is very 70s.
I know.
70s porn stashes. This is great. No, because here's my point about this movie. You felt like you were actually in that time, because obviously Force Awakens, even though it's 30 years after Return of the Jedi, it feels very new.
Yeah.
And it feels very like 2016, 2015.
Yeah.
You know, it feels very new. But Rogue One felt very 70s, very 80s, because you have people who are still in that style of hair and style of whatnot.
They had the
that a 70s movie
the
was
actual like the practical effects made everything for me that made it seem like this is right.
They were on a real beach.
Yeah.
They were. Everything was like, it felt fucking great, and the looks were great. And then these 70s porn stashes were fucking hilarious on these pilots. You know who I wish we got?
Who?
Porkins.
Oh, yeah. There was a guy on Blue Team. I was like, no, Porkins.
There's no Porkins. You know who they do mention?
Who?
There's a lot of mention. They mention Hera from Rebels, right? They mention. I think they mention Han Solo.
No.
I think they do, because I think they said General Solo come in, but I don't know if I don't think he's a general. No, he's not even part of the rebellion. So I definitely heard something else.
It's not him.
I'd heard something else.
He doesn't join the rebellion until Luke joins.
That's true. I heard something else.
He doesn't join the rebellion.
Technically, he doesn't even join. He doesn't even believe it until Force Awakens.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny.
It was like, I was a part of that. He goes, I was a part of it.
Yeah, I was like, Han, you were a fucking general.
Yeah. You got a medal, you piece of
Twice.
shit. Chewie didn't get a medal. You got a fucking medal. They do mention Antilles. They mentioned Captain Antilles. Like
Wedge.
They mentioned Wedge.
I love Wedge.
And they I don't know what part of the movie. I think it was when they were all getting out. They were all like flying away, and they were ready for the battle. They mentioned Wedge, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's epic!" You know, like, which is interesting because you do. There's a scene in A New Hope, a deleted scene. If you look, Luke looks up and he sees fighting, and I'm curious if that's the same fighting. Curious of how close Tatooine was to that planet, the beach planet. And I'm curious if that's the same fighting Luke saw in that cutscene. I mean, that deleted scene. I have no idea.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's interesting. I might be just rambling about bullshit because I have no idea. But it's an interesting.
That'd be cool.
It is interesting.
But yeah, back to like how this changes the new canon. Like I was saying earlier, it makes everything feel grittier. It makes everything feel like the rebellion was on its knees at this point.
Beck and call. Like
it
was. You had a lot of people just giving up.
Yeah.
And you saw it in this movie. You had a lot of people going, let's just stop this. We've been doing it for fucking almost 20 years. Yeah. Can we just call it quits?
Yeah.
Let them take over.
Even in A New Hope, they were like that. They no one really like. They were dead. They were like.
Yeah, they
disenfranchised.
I think they were just like, let's give it up. This emperor dude, which they probably never met. You have to remember. That's another thing, and we're gonna get to him in a second. A lot of people don't know Vader exists. A lot of people don't know Vader's a thing.
Yeah,
because
he killed everybody who he encountered.
Right, and a lot of people don't know that he was real at all. The Jedi, what's a Jedi? The Jedis aren't real. Like Jedis are just myth. You know, they might have met Ezra. They might have seen Kanan. They might have seen Ahsoka.
They know about lightsabers.
Right.
Clearly, lightsabers. They just think that that's just a weapon. You know, like that's just like what the Mandalorians use with the swords.
Yeah,
you know, they just think, it was just a weapon that these people use. That was it.
So
there's these crazy religious fanatics.
So when Vader comes later, which what a scene! First off, I thought they fucked up. Because I'm stupid. I thought they fucked up. I thought he got on the wrong ship because he goes, it's time to do boarding, right? And he got on the wrong ship, I thought.
It's like there's Vader's.
But I didn't know that's how it started. What a great way to tell us. This guy got the plans that way. Got it onto the ship. He's running away. He's like, take it. Because he sees the lightsaber go, oh, my God.
It is... Like we talked about this earlier. We both spoke that this is going to be a weaker Vader. You know, he's older.
That's what I thought. So then I guess they are.
He went easy on Luke on Empire.
Yeah, I know. It's weird because clearly the guy that was wearing the suit back then was an older man. He was a former Olympian and whatnot. But he was an older man. So I'm curious if they're never going to explain why he's so weak in New Hope. Maybe they're just like, oh, well, he's an older actor. That's it. But, yeah, he goes from being this sadistic fuck, and then 10 minutes, a couple of days later, he defeats Obi-Wan in this weird, slow, methodical way.
You know, like...
Maybe that's just his way of doing it. I don't know. You just felt bad.
Yeah, you can see the seeds of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, in this one, yeah, because it is interesting. So let's get into Vader. Okay, so throughout the whole movie, we're given these teases to like this planet is Jedha and this planet is this is planet is that.
Oh yeah, with the little title.
And I love Jedha. Jedha's great. I wonder if they call themselves Jedis on that planet. But anyway, the only planet we do not get a name tag. That's what it is. Name tags is a planet that is quite volcanic. It's a planet that is quite rocky. It's a planet that clearly looks familiar, and the reason they didn't want to do it is clearly because they were like, well, you're about to see some fucking great shit right now.
Yeah.
And what do? Is they zoom in, they show a castle. The Vader castle's real, like from the fucking original comics. The Vader castle's real. So it's Mustafar. Clearly Mustafar. I mean, we were looking at the art of Rogue One before, and it clearly says Mustafar.
To me, the Jedi are evil.
Oh, to bring back that terrible scene. So we see Vader in what seems to be a Bacta tank being nailed before him by some man who was confirmed to be some councilman from Jedi or Empire. Which is a weird tag, you know, because they said his name, and that's the same guy that's in that movie. We see this burnt Anakin who's still healing.
Yeah.
So he must be constantly doing this. Like he must constantly try to heal his body.
It has to be like that.
That's interesting to me because I thought maybe he did it once and whatever, but no, he's constantly meditating. He's constantly healing his body. And then we see him come out and he chokes Krennic. And the worst line in the movie is by Darth Vader.
Fucking Vader had a pun. I am so mad.
The worst line is by Darth Vader.
And my friend next to me, he goes, ha ha ha.
I chuckled.
I win.
You thought he thought that was going to happen?
No, because he's a huge pun guy.
And
he knows how much I love Vader. So he goes, ha ha.
What was the line again that I want to forget?
Don't
choke on your...
Yeah, don't choke on your ambitions or something stupid like that.
While he's choking him?
Yeah, I was like,
ha ha. Very funny.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, Darth Julius Vader, as I like to call him. Okay, first of all, without that line, great scene, right? A lot of people think it's a throwaway. I like the scene because of the fact that it gets to show you where he was during the time of these, like, why didn't he stop the people? Well, because he was doing his Bacta tank shit, and he was trying to make sure Krennic. Now the thing with Krennic is that Krennic had to go to someone. He couldn't go to Tarkin because Tarkin doesn't want to deal with him because Tarkin wants his position.
Oh yeah, of course.
He doesn't want to deal with. He can't deal with the Emperor because that's way too high up.
Yeah,
so
he would not. You would not get it.
Right, and why not go to Vader because Vader's going to deal with it. Vader might be able to deal with it. And Vader just tells him no, like just deal with your shit, like. Stop being a baby, more or less. Don't choke on your ambitions. So, like, don't do any of that. You know, just do your shit. We'll figure it out. And, all right. So, hey, something happened with the tape there. I think. I don't know. Anyway, and Tony got a sandwich.
I did. While Peter was trying to figure out how to fucking fix the tape.
Yeah.
I got me a sandwich.
So we kind of cut short there, but we were talking about Darth Vader. So we were discussing last his castle, where we left you off, and then we were going to get into the scene that is all scenes in the Rogue One movie. Oh man,
the dark hallway,
the Darth Vader scene, the dark Vader, the dark hall. Yeah. Okay, so, like, I was saying, I think, if I could recall, I was saying, like, I thought they fucked up. Like, I thought he got on the wrong ship at first.
Yeah, I also thought that. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was just like, wait, what are we doing here? It's the other one. But then I realized that ship was in that ship. And I was like, oh, my God! You know, that is pretty cool. How scared were those guys?
Bruh. You like all you see is a menacing man come out with nothing but a red lightsaber.
Actually, no, you don't even see him. You just see a red lightsaber.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. You just see the red lightsaber, and then he comes in the frame, and then he just doesn't say anything. All you hear is
classic Vader breath.
yeah, and then you like just not being force sensitive at all, and just being like a normal soldier. I'd be terrified.
Yeah, but you have to again going back to these people had no idea he was a real thing. He was just a thing of myth and thing of love, legend. You know, was this guy real? And if he was, well, we're never going to meet him. We'll never see this guy. And the fact that he's the reason I die. I feel bad for the guy that got thrown onto the ceiling. He just boom.
Fucking paled.
And then and then you see was there blood? I can't recall. There was no blood splatter. There was just death.
No.
Yeah, Star Wars doesn't do blood. Yeah. They do lots of arm cutting, but somehow it's always clean cut.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think because the blade's so hot, it roasts the skin enough, so it just gives it a nice scabbing. Yeah. It doesn't cause it to bleed. I think that's how it works in Star Wars.
And it's usually just stabbing motion. So when people use the lightsaber to stab, it just stabs right through body.
True.
Blasters are also made out of plasma too, so it just goes right through them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when Jin's mom died, there was some residue, but it wasn't all that crazy. So yeah, when the guy who had the plans was really funny because he's just throwing. He's like, just take it. Just go. And the guy didn't understand, and then he finally gave it to him, and then he was killed, and then they take the plans and he puts it into the system and whatnot, and it was it worked. But Vader is slightly defeated at that moment. Vader is he did kill who he does to kill, but he's defeated because he's like, now we have to go after that ship. Yep. And he's not sure if he's going to get it, and then, wait, he does, because A New Hope, that is exactly the opening of A New Hope, so that was pretty cool. But I know Antonio wants to talk about his favorite moments of the movie, which we kind of touched upon earlier, which is the whole, the battle. The epic battle. Let's talk about the deaths and the intensity that was this last 45 hours? 45 minutes?
45 hours, yeah. Jesus
I would have paid 45 hours worth of that. I would have seen that.
I would have loved to see that.
I would have actually seen the whole battle, like no cuts, just constant battle. Oh, it'd be great.
Oh, man.
So,
where do we start?
We knew in the crawl of A New Hope, it does say that a fleet, but we did not know how big this fleet was. Mm-hmm. Holy fucking dick. That is a big fleet. Yeah. That is more than a fleet. It looks like fleets.
Yeah, it was how big was it? It was a part of the Rebel
Alliance, yeah.
Yeah, but like how big of it?
Oh, I know. It could have been the whole thing.
Yeah.
It looked like it could have been the whole thing. And that goes to show you how big the Rebels were there then, and then look at Force Awakens and how small
the resistance
is.
Yeah.
It goes to show you. But no, yeah, the fucking Rebel fleet in I was about to say 2000. I don't even know what year. But yeah, in the Rebel fleet back in the New Hope days was huge.
Yeah. And
it was huge throughout the trilogy, for it seemed. But yeah, that ship that he was on though, that Akbar looking character, I don't know his name. I want that ship. I want to build that Lego ship now. I don't know what what it kind of reminded me of?
What?
The ship from Futurama.
Oh.
What's his name?
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god, that character. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. The general guy. It looked like his ship, in my opinion, which is kind of cool, kind of funny and sad at the same time. I don't think I've ever seen that ship before in Star Wars. I don't know. Looked new to me.
Probably
because it had that base, that bottom, it looked like a blimp.
Yeah.
Type of base thing where he was controlling everything from there. So, okay, first off, we finally get some Star Wars in Star Wars. That rarely happens. It happened in the first movie. It happened in Empire, maybe.
It happened in Empire.
In Jedi, but...
Jedi, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I mean, but rare. But,
rare,
we haven't had one in a long time.
Yeah.
This X-Wings going through this force field type of contraption what is this? It kind of looked like the Trade Federation's base, which would have pissed me off. That's who it was. They're still alive. I mean, come on, how epic is that? The X-wings going through that and then dying, hitting the force field, and seeing all this craziness that we finally get. Imagine editing this in an editing room. You and I being editors, you know, imagine editing and making CGI for a film like this, and all of that's just fake. All that's not real. Oh my god! The hours put into that. Props to those guys. I haven't seen a mistake. I mean, I've only seen the movie once. I haven't picked up on an issue. My God,
it looks great, bro. It was fuck.
I mean, think about they're hovering over this beach planet. Too.
Yeah,
they're hovering over this planet that, of course, was shot. You know, clearly it looked like they shot it on a beach. Then you have the events going down there, the deaths that we are seeing down there with Jin and Cassian and everyone else,
and everyone else's team,
and Donnie Yen dying and everyone else there. But and then I'm not even sure they're aware of what's going on up in the sky.
No.
And the sacrifices that are going up there, and then I'm not even sure they even know what's going on down on the beach, and the sacrifices going on there, and just the parallels there with that, and then it goes to show you that, and of course Vader shows up and he does his thing.
Yeah.
I kind of wish the Emperor showed up here at that point, like he's the one that told Vader, do it, like, go after them. But you know, it was kind of missed him in this movie. But anyway, this scene was pretty fucking epic. I kind of want to see more of that. Like we got the movie we wanted. Like we got the Black Hawk Down movie. We got the Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah,
we
got the war movie, man. That's what they told us that was gonna be, and I was excited for it. You were excited for it back in Star Wars Celebration all those like years ago.
You know how Marvel, because it's in the same family, Marvel does their heist, they do their political thriller, they do their campy, happy-go-lucky movie, they do this, and that.
Yeah.
With this movie being the war movie.
Yes.
And it looks like Han Solo might be the...
Space buddy cop.
Space cop buddy movie, whatever. Yeah. Do you think that's a theme they're going to do? They're going to do like thematic styles in these Star Wars films, in these and
the side stories, probably.
Side ones, on these anthology ones.
Probably. I think that's where they're going to go with it because Rogue One is the war movie. We're probably going to get more of those because just so. The Han Solo is definitely going to be a buddy cop one. They're probably going to show us how he stole basically the Falcon from Lando. How him and Chewie became friends. Maybe show the Kessel Run.
In 12 parsecs.
Yeah, probably show that towards the end.
That'd be cool. I mean, maybe they turn that film they turn into like a trilogy of some sort.
Yeah.
And do like missions and whatnot he has done.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious, because with Rogue One, like you said, it is clearly the war film, and that one's clearly going to be the buddy cop. And I'm wondering if they do a Boba movie, which it seems like they might just throw that in Celebration, or they do the Obi-Wan.
I want them to do the Obi-Wan.
But here's the thing: if we're going to go off the theory that Obi-Wan, the theory that's going out there, and it looks like it might be true. Who knows? That Obi-Wan might be the grandfather of Rey. They might not want to say that there's an Obi-Wan movie coming out because then it would clearly, for some people, confirm that theory.
Right.
If they say, "Oh, well, we're going to do a movie," they might as well wait until they confirm that is true or not, then say that there's an Obi-Wan movie. Because then we could explain to us who's the mom, who's the father.
See, that'd be it. You say granddaughter.
Yeah, because it would have to be.
Yeah. It would have to be, right? It wouldn't be
daughter. It can't be.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that would be 30-something years, 35, almost 40 years later, and then she's clearly in her 20s.
Yeah. Okay.
There's the people say that Obi-Wan had a relation with Satine from Clone Wars.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian lady.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And they had a daughter named Sabine, who's on the Ghost ship in Rebels, and who they say either had a child with Ezra or Luke, and hence why she has all these powers, because Ezra or Luke and Obi-Wan are her lineage. So that is an interesting theory. That's for me, it's too close to the Star Wars world for it to be true, but maybe not. Maybe that's why it is true, because maybe they want to connect it that much. Maybe and if it is Ezra or Sabine, then there's a great tie between the Rebel show and then Rey.
Yeah,
that would be epic.
That'd be cool. But the thing is, I feel like just Obi-Wan as himself is too tied down to the Jedi ways.
He's not, though. He's really not. He's really not. Because, like, I mean, he did tell Anakin not to fall in the traps of blood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he did walk away from the Order. Like, I mean, not the Order, but he did walk away from everything and live his secluded life on Tatooine.
He did, but that was basically towards when the Order was dead, and he had to.
Right. So but then that could have been when he had the funky, if you know what I mean. Like, he could have done things. He could have called someone up and be like, "Meet me here. We're gonna go to this Jedi motel, and then we're gonna have some fun." I don't know. I mean, he did clearly have a relation with her. It seemed like in the Clone Wars.
Yes,
so, I mean, very hypocritical. What a fuck. But he clearly did have some sort of relation. Even Anakin teased him and said, "This is your girlfriend. Where's your girlfriend?" So I don't know. I kind of want it to be true because then it would finally put the rest who the fuck her parents are.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if we're gonna find out in 8. We're probably gonna find out towards the end of 8.
Yeah.
End of 8, probably.
Or sometime in
9. Yeah.
That's gonna annoy me
because they're not gonna throw away.
So we got 3 years to find out then if it's 9.
Yeah, and we got all the anthology movies in between.
Nah, well, I still want to know. I don't know why it bugs us, but we still want to know who Rey's parents are.
Yeah.
So there's that is an interesting theory that's out there. So do you have any gripes with this movie? Because there's so many great things, but do you have any gripes? You know my fucking big one.
Yeah. I feel like the movie starts up too slow.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like, I get they have to plant the seeds for each one of the characters, but it just the progress of them planting those seeds and for them to develop in the last chapter of the movie, it just takes too long. Like you see Cassian Andor kill a guy, right in the beginning, and then he can't kill Jin's dad.
Right.
What? Like what?
Right.
And he even says it before they even go off. It's like, I've done a lot of things for the rebellion, things I'm not proud of. Why the? Like what?
Then you would have just easily shot him.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like some things like that.
Well, that goes also to the development of some characters, and they're not wanting to do that or whatever.
Yeah.
Any other like big gripes?
No, I mean it's just the first 2 acts are just too long before I got to see the action of the third.
I think because maybe in your head you were just like, I can't wait to see the ending.
Yeah, I mean, because like we talked before, this was the war movie, so I was expecting war stuff, and we got it. Definitely got it. But I was expecting like more stuff to be shot earlier on, maybe, possibly. So that's basically my gripe.
Could go with the reshoots. Be with the reshoots. I'm not too sure. My big gripe is not because John Williams didn't do the score. Don't worry. Yeah. I don't mind him not doing it because he doesn't do it for the TV shows or whatnot. But with all the reshoots, they did say that they had to bring in a new composer, which weirded people out. And they were like, why?
Oh, okay.
And then they brought in probably the best composer out there besides John Williams right now. It's Michael Giacchino, or however you pronounce his name. And apparently he only had 4 or 5 weeks to do this film. That's it. 4 or 5 weeks to get the score out there. And it was clearly, at least to me, clearly noticeable. Because there were some moments in the movie they could have played the Empire theme. They could have played a lot of these themes. But they didn't. They did it in some good spots. When they mentioned Leia or of her, they played Leia's theme. It came in. That was cool. But there's a lot of moments that didn't hit me. And a lot of the movie felt dead. It was just dialogue in some spots where I think if you added some music there, it would have felt a lot better. I didn't feel Star Wars-y as much as it should have to me. Which maybe if I watch it again this week, maybe I'll feel different. But it didn't feel super Star Wars-y. Force Awakens, obviously, it felt Star Wars. I love that soundtrack. And every other Star Wars movie felt like it. It kind of felt... I mean, I don't know. The prequels soundtracks are not epic, but
I mean they
work.
They have a few classics.
Yeah, they work though. This one, I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted. I'm gonna wait to give my final decision on that on the theme until I see it again.
Because I went home after watching the movie and I listened to the soundtrack. And the soundtrack. Oh,
did you really?
Yeah, and I think the soundtrack is not that bad.
Yeah. While listening to it, just think Star Wars.
Right.
Just think Star Wars. Don't think of Avatar.
Yeah, I was I was just like I was listening to it, and you know, I got like the actiony war type of feel to it. I didn't go in thinking, okay, let me listen for Star Wars. It just played, and then you have the Empire's theme come in because, you know, Darth Vader's.
I mean, maybe that could be because of the fact that it is a war film, so they try to change the dialogue of the sound.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. They wanted it to sound more epic and more like sorrowy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be it. I have no idea. But for me, it didn't work as well. And as I said before,
I mean, I think you should just take a listen to it.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Take a listen to it. Take a couple of hours just to process everything, and then watch the movie again.
Yeah.
And then see where you're at.
Yeah. So I'm going to start wrapping it up here. What is your like favorite scene from this movie?
Favorite scene.
Or at least like, what's that moment for you that goes, I remember that.
Okay, so there's a few.
Of course,
right?
Of course, and that's the thing. This movie has quite a number of those.
There's a few.
It's because this movie, guys, remember, this movie's fucking amazing.
Yeah, you I off the top of my head, I can talk about like the Jinn and the hologram with her. That like that's a great scene. I wish, you know, Forrest Whitaker said, "What will you become?" But you know that's nitpicky. Vader's fight. Vader's fight, and then that whole sequence where he's just looking out into the ship, and he was like, "I'm gonna go take that later." The Jin and Cassian on the beach, just looking at each other, just like, we're dead, but we did our job. There's the whole action sequence when Baze takes the rocket launcher, right, and he shoots the AT, I think ST.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're called.
They
look cool though.
He shoots it in the neck or in the face, and usually that's where it gets blown up, right?
Yeah.
Nothing, and then the X-wings came in and it just like helped them out,
cracks them in half.
Yeah.
So a weird way
like,
for
there's
them to
just so many good Donnie Yen's I am with the Force and the Force is with me. Like, there's so many good scenes.
For me, that's mine.
Yeah,
that's my scene.
Really?
Yeah, it's a tie between the hologram of her father and then that, because it's so powerful seeing this guy basically more or less sacrifice himself to go out there just to fucking touch a switch.
Yeah,
that's all he's doing. But he's gonna sacrifice his life, and that was pretty amazing to see. And then of course seeing my guy Vader come in and kill some innocent little guys. That was great. Another great scene, actually, more or less, would have to be when K2SO dies. That for me, that's still powerful for me. That's but the whole scene of them stealing the plans, literally, with that little like, what seemed to be like a crane type of video game type of thing, or like at an arcade to get a stuffed animal, put a quarter in and get the Death Star plans. That's more or less how it worked. I was slightly like weirded out by that, but I love that scene. I love that dynamic, and then Krennic comes in and he shoots them and all that stuff. That was really cool to see. But yeah, those are like some pretty epic scenes in this movie. What are we rating these movies? This movie.
Okay. But before we even do that,
yes,
Peter, better than Empire? Yes or no?
No. Well, no. It had the flavors, but no.
Good.
No. Good.
Because again, before going into this, we saw a lot of reviews saying people are saying it's better than Empire. I saw the better than Empires. I saw the better than Force Awakens, which it is better than Force Awakens by a long shot. Like, Force Awakens is epic. It's built up, but the thing is, it's kind of like it's kind of a reminder of New Hope and whatnot. And it's not a new movie. You know, it's the thing. It's like you get the flavors again. This movie, though, it felt new. It felt original. It felt like its own, and it could stand on its own a lot more than I think. And it sounds weird that you could say that it stands on its own, even though it directly ties into A New Hope. Yeah. But yeah, it does for some reason stand on its own, I think. It's not clearly better than Empire. Okay.
At this moment, I don't know where it stands on the 8 Star Wars films. It's clearly the best anthology movie because it's the only one. Yeah. I don't want to say it's better than Jedi. I don't want to say it's clear. Well, to me, it's clearly better than any of the prequels. But is it better than Jedi? Because for me, it's Empire, New Hope.
Where's Force?
I don't know. See, Force Awakens is probably next, and then Jedi, and then Rogue One. So it's No, so then yeah, it's clearly better than Jedi and Force Awakens. Yeah, it's probably my third best Star Wars film I've ever seen so far. Maybe I knocked it down a peg or so.
Well, we have to wait till episode 8.
Well, you gotta let it simmer down now. Yeah, well well, fuck yeah.
Next year, episode 8.
And Han Solo's funeral. Can't wait to see that.
We still gonna show it?
Well, Carrie Fisher kind of like, she was at Star Wars Celebration and they asked her a question and she's like, "Oh yeah, Han's funeral." I mean, and she like got away from the topic. They got to. Come on, they do one for what's her face. They got to do one for him.
Who? Padme.
Padme. They do one for her. They got to do one for him.
Oh, but you know who's gonna be there?
My guy, Lando Calrissian.
Lando.
If he's not there,
I swear,
this series.
No. If he's not there, that movie's already bad.
Well, get ready to say no to this movie.
Exactly.
I don't think he's in it.
N-O.
I don't think he's
0.
in it. But okay, so like that's where kind of I rank my Star Wars movies now. I will have how to rate this film out of 10. I'm gonna go with a crisp, brand new 10 out of... No, I'm kidding. I'm not Chris Adat, who rates everything 10 out of 10. He sees any movie, he's like 10 out of 10. Guys, if you don't remember, he was on the Doctor Strange episode, and after he saw Doctor Strange, 10 out of 10. After he saw Fantastic Beasts, 10 out of 10. Oh, no, he was on the Fantastic Beasts episode. He wasn't in Doctor Strange. Yeah. After he's seen any movie that it's ever come out this whole year, 10 out of 10.
I love him.
So I would have to... I don't know. I would give this movie a nice 9.1.
9.1. What credits the 0.1?
The 0.1 is... I don't know. No. Because I don't want to give it just a 9, but I don't want to give it a 9.5. So 9, 2.5.
Okay.
No, it's in the range of a 9, 9.5. I absolutely... I mean, we might not have sounded like we love this movie because we kind of just saw it. So like, but we absolutely love this movie. Yeah, we saw. I saw it like 3 days ago. Yeah. So it's been time to like evaluate it, and I want to see it again. Like I literally almost saw it yesterday, but I wasn't feeling that good, so I didn't go see it. And I was like, "Fuck, I need to go see this again." It's like fucking drugs. Like I need to get my fix. You know, I saw Force Awakens 5 times in theaters. Yeah. So I need to see this again at least 4 times in theaters. So that's my rating, 9.1. Can't really explain the 0.1 there, but Antonio Connolly, what is your rating for Star Wars Rogue One? Or Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Okay, it's in that 8.99 range, so it's around.
So what warrants the 0.9, sir?
Oh well, it's the slow startup.
Okay.
That's really what.
So it gives it the 8.
Yeah, it gives it the 8 because it's like, again, they hyped it up like all of the teasers and all the stuff showed. The war and the Flash.
They just threw that at you.
And so like I'm seeing this and they gave it to us. They definitely did. But like again, they're trying to develop Jin's character and everyone else. So it's just like, all right, I get it, but I want to see more. Get over here. Da, 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 da.
Someone in the room just gave it an 8.
Ah, good.
Oh.
Yeah, and so since it directly ties into New Hope and everything that it justifies for the new canon,
it changes the way you see the other movies.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I'm thinking about this now. It's like, if I want to get someone into Star Wars, do I show them Rogue One first, or do I still show them New Hope?
Well, that's what I did. I mean, that's what I did. So, yeah, I mean, my girlfriend doesn't see Star Wars, never seen a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And so we went to go see Rogue One.
Yeah.
And that was her first dabble in the world of the lore.
Yeah.
She came out loving it and liking it, you know. So and I think that if you are going to start someone with Star Wars, I don't know. Okay, so like since Rogue One is in theaters now, yeah, might as well go see it with someone you haven't seen it with, whether it's your cousin or brother or significant other or whatever. But if it's 2 years down the line, don't do that. Don't show them Rogue One first. Show them Episode 1 to. That's my thing. Go through
Episode 1.
Yeah, show them in order.
Phantom Menace.
Show them in order. Get rid of the shit first.
No.
Yes, you have to get rid of the. No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You savor the moments of the greatness later, so that it's like you know, you start off with an appetizer. Appetizers aren't that great, you know. They're good, but they're not whatever. Unless you go to Applebee's or TGI Fridays, you get some good appetizers, you know. But you're not going to get some great ones. You then slowly get to that course meal with the first course meal will be Rogue One. That's going to be your starter, and then you go from there.
You see,
and then you end it with Force Awakens.
See, that's the thing. I would love to do that, but there's certain peoples that I want to show, like again, like the GF. There's a friend of mine who hasn't has never seen a Star Wars movie, and I don't want them to see the prequels right away because of the fact that the CGI. No, not even that. It's the CGI and all the updated graphics.
Different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you get so used to watching those, and then you see the practical effects and how looking old, I think personally they're not going to enjoy it as much because they're going to be like, "Wow, this is an aged movie."
Right. See, I used to be a firm believer in that. Because I was like, well, there's no way they're going to sit down and watch a 77 movie, like a movie from 77. But in my eyes, Star Wars, A New Hope, the first one, is so good. It doesn't matter what year it was made. Like, it doesn't matter how it physically looks, because at the end of the day, it's such a good movie. It could have been made yesterday or it could have been made in 77. You could overlook the graininess of some of the shots. You could overlook some of that stuff because it is aged. You could overlook that, and in the back of your mind, you have to realize that without that movie, none of those other ones would have been made, and this one definitely wouldn't have been made either.
True, facts.
So, and I think you should get rid of the bullshit first. Episode 1, 2, and 3, get that out of the way. It's shit, But all those events did lead to this, though.
True.
So, let them watch that, and like I said, you want to end it on a great note, which is Empire and Jedi. So you want to. You want to end, and then The Force Awakens. So you want to end it on good notes, and of course, sequentially, you want to see it in order, don't you?
I mean,
but also, George did do a fuck up with explaining that Vader and Anakin are like for those that didn't know, he kind of fucked it up already anyway, because we kind of knew he was going to become that.
Yeah.
So he did a good job hiding that. But anyway, I do think someone should start at 1 through 7 or 8 coming out next year. That's just me.
Okay.
I don't know.
I gotta ask John that question.
Well, John, what do you? Oh, that's right, he's not here. So I give it a 9.1. You give it an 8.9, and John might have given it a 9, but it would have been a nice 8.9, 9, and 9.1. That would have been a nice little jump in number. Now, I have no idea what John gives this movie. For all we know, John hates this movie, loathes it, and never wants to see it again. Or, if anything, John thinks it's the greatest thing of all time. Who knows? I have no idea what John thinks.
No idea.
And we'll probably find out on another episode. But that has been the cool guys with Facts Not Included. That has been.
Are you just like?
I don't know. Someone just took the microphone.
Are you just trying to take John's persona now?
I don't know. That guy took the. I don't know. Some guy took the mic and go away. Anyway, I don't know what happened there. So it's been Facts Not Included. What an interesting episode this has been with my guy Antonio Connolly.
What's up?
And wow, you don't say what's up. You say goodbye.
I say what's up.
What a loser.
Goodbye. Hello, how you doing?
So long.
Yeah. Right. This
what is this?
Doing.
Remember the oh, I'm gonna sound like an idiot. So never mind. There was an old Disney cartoon show. Disney show when we were kids. No, that's not what I'm thinking about. Anyway, we'll get to it later. You're not gonna hear it, guys. What are you doing? Copyright infringement. Anyway, it's been an honor to talk about Rogue One with you guys. Hope you enjoy the episode. I've been Peter Cabranes, the apparently the first host, and I've been joined by the perpetual third wheel, Antonio Connolly.
DuckTales. Woo! See you, everybody.
And remember,
listen with your ears, eyes. Oh, I don't know, John. I miss you. Please come back. Come on. I don't want to do this anymore.